The rain didn't just fall, it poured relentlessly, turning the forest into a challenging, unpredictable environment. This is the story of survival, resilience, and practical bushcraft skills tested over 2 intense days in the wild. Day 1 began with a clear objective: find a suitable location before conditions worsened. In heavy rain, shelter placement is everything. I searched for slightly elevated ground to avoid flooding, with natural tree cover to reduce direct rainfall. Once the spot was secured, the priority shifted to building a strong foundation. Using basic tools and natural materials, I started by clearing the ground, removing wet leaves and debris to create a dry working area. The structure began with a simple frame, using sturdy branches anchored firmly into the soil. Stability is critical in wet conditions, so each joint was reinforced carefully. The rain made everything slippery, slowing progress, but precision couldn't be sacrificed. As the downpour intensified, roofing became urgent. Large leaves, bark, and layered branches were used to create a waterproof barrier. The technique is simple but effective, overlapping materials in a way that channels water away, not through the shelter. Within hours, a basic structure stood, but it wasn't enough. Wind and rain exposed every weakness. By nightfall, the temperature dropped, and the forest grew louder with the sound of rain hitting every surface. Inside the shelter, it was cramped but functional. Staying dry became the main challenge. Small adjustments, tightening the roof, blocking side gaps, and elevating the sleeping area made a significant difference. Survival isn't about comfort, it's about adaptation. Day 2 started with exhaustion, but also clarity. The first structure worked, but improvement was necessary. Reinforcement began immediately. Additional layers were added to the roof, increasing insulation and water resistance. The walls were thickened using mud and foliage, sealing gaps and improving heat retention. One of the biggest upgrades was drainage. A shallow trench was dug around the shelter to redirect rainwater away. This simple step dramatically improved the interior conditions. It's a reminder that in survival situations, small details often create the biggest impact. Fire was the next challenge. In constant rain, dry materials are rare, but not impossible to find. By splitting wood and accessing the dry inner core, it was possible to create a sustainable fire. This provided warmth, improved morale, and allowed for basic cooking. By the end of the second day, the shelter had transformed. What started as a temporary structure became a reliable refuge against harsh weather. The experience highlighted a fundamental truth: survival in the wild is not about strength, it's about knowledge, patience, and decision-making under pressure. This wasn't just an adventure, it was a real test of skill, where every action had consequences. In the forest, especially under heavy rain, nature sets the rules. The only choice is to adapt or fail, and in those 2 days, adaptation made all the difference.